Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.
Hello and welcome to Nirmal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Dadia. We have with us Vinkesh Gulati, Vice President at FADA, joining in. Vinkesh, welcome to the show and always a pleasure to speak to you. It's been an interesting year overall with regards to where FY21 goes. We did see a major dip that did come in with regards to auto sales. However, during the festive season, there was a pickup that we did see. Now, how would you describe the year in terms of sustainability that we saw from the third quarter onwards?
So, hi, thanks for having me. And no doubt it's been a tough year for us, but we were lucky enough that last year, post the lockdowns and the COVID situation, what we handled, the recovery was very good in actually two of the categories, which is passenger vehicle and the tractors.
Hmm.
So overall, I feel we were one or two of the lucky industries or where we could see a V-shaped recovery and the recovery just post unlock one. So overall, it was a good time for us. I'm not saying exactly the good time to be normal or something, but the recovery of V at least supported us that we can come back faster. And by the festive season, which was September, October, we also saw the numbers growing, which was that as compared to last year, we saw the passenger vehicle in green, so having a double-digit growth. The tractors were also always seeing the growth what we were expecting. So it was a mixed bag where we talk about then commercial vehicle or two-wheeler. We didn't see that much uptake, and they were always in red. So I feel if I sum it up, so 2020, 2021 was a mixed bag, and it was comfortable enough that we dealers are a resilient lot, and we saw coming back in some segment pre-COVID levels, and some segment even a good reasonable level where things were going on fine. But now entering in the second wave, the things have actually shattered. The confidence, how we uh, 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 went through the first wave, as of now, it's actually a different scenario. So not as good as what we have seen last year, but we are still hopeful that this wave will also too pass as early as possible, or maybe max by May end, and we'll again have time to rebuild ourselves and try to work on what positivity we can get into retail and have some good retails.
Right. So, Venkesh, overall, a 8-year low is what we've seen with regards to registrations in terms of FY21. To my knowledge, even April started on a weaker note. How would you expect growth to be with regards to FY22 if you have to take FY21 as a base? Do you think we will see a similar kind of a drop, or do you think it could be worse?
So frankly, it's very difficult to predict as of today. It will all depend how these lockdowns and how the COVID spike will go up. Sitting today, all India figures have slowly come now below 4 lakhs. It's some 3 lakh 29,000 today morning or last 24 hours. So which is a good sign. So it means it is tapering down. So if it actually tapers down and we don't see another surge to a bigger number, and as expected, like most of the places where it is tapered down, people are expecting that the lockdown will end by 25th or 31st, 30th or 31st of this month. We'll be still in a better position. But commenting on worse or better is a difficult thing.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing is very clear that as we have experienced the last year and we know how things have been, and we had actually done a lot of planning for last year in the quarter two to for our survivability and coming back to normalcy. So we know how things go by. So this is nothing unforeseen for us today. So we'll be able to come back faster. provided we see lockdowns going away. So if the lockdowns doesn't extend post May end, uh, we may easily touch the last year figures. I'm not sure about the growth because this time uh, the fatalities a lot. The COVID has actually touched, I feel, every family or every other family.
Absolutely.
So the sentiments won't be as good as we saw last year post lockdowns. So, but still, we'll try as a dealer fraternity, as our full front team, to anyhow work day and night once the lockdown is over and see how we can convert our inquiries into retails and give a good comeback. So not exactly able to comment that this year will be
Mhm.
better or worse, but uh, I feel this will be a better question to answer maybe post May when we see how lockdowns are going.
Right. And Vinkesh, overall, while the first wave was somewhat limited to the urban regions, this time it's impacted the rural markets as well. Now, taking that into consideration, any specific trend that you're expecting where, tractor, which was one segment which was positive, probably could be hit taking rural India into consideration, or probably even the two-wheelers or CVs could be hit.
Uh, you're right on your point, and frankly, if you have gone through our FADA's press release just day before, tractor has seen a negative growth first time post the lockdown.
Lockdown, yeah.
So, which had been some month on month around 45%, and that's huge. No doubt this time rural is not spared. Whatever may be the reason, the election, the panchayat elections or Kumbh, but it's happening all across India that the pandemic, which was stated to be a rich man's pandemic or a city-based
Hmm.
pandemic, is now gone down to rural more because the you can say intelligence or the level of people information what we have in the cities, it's not there, and rural, and their ignorance is now hitting us more.
Hmm.
And what we are seeing today when we talk to our frontline team and when they talk to their villages, so they're around 10%, 20% of the villages going through fever, and they term it like malaria, typhoid, and all those things. So they are not even going through the you can see the process of health ministry or the government where they are going for RT-PCR or to a hospital to get it checked. So they are eating medicines given by a local which level doctor they have in that village, and um, so obviously rural has been affected a lot, and but I'm hopeful because on the rural story again, because we will be seeing the third uh, good monsoon this time also.
Correct.
So I feel three consecutive good monsoons is a growth story for India. So we have seen last 2 years also farm produce were good, and their MSP rate has gone up. So they have a lot of purchasing power as of now. No doubt because of COVID and all that, it's being delayed. But I feel by June things will improve, and as rains start, their positivity will come back again.
Hmm.
So rural, no doubt, will be affected for a month or two or three, but it will again be the story which will drive the growth for an overall Indian economy, and specifically for our auto retail also.
Hmm. Right. So, Venkesh, right now, if you have to take the entire dealer network into consideration, which I assume is little over 15,000 dealers that FADA has registered, what percentage is operational?
So overall, if I talk about the lockdown orders and all, around 70% plus are under lockdown as of now.
Wow.
But even the balance 30% you are not sure of, because due to the containment policy, there are some dealership which come under that area, so they
Hmm.
have to cut down. Or even if they have some 5 or 7 or 10 people positive in a dealership, they are on their own shutting down for a week or 10 days to save others also for spreading that infection. So practically, if I say around 20% to 25% are on,
Hmm.
but if you talk on the actual working front, retail front, the percentage is actually not the right image to give, because
Hmm.
uh, ground level realities are that things are not happening. So retail is not happening, customers are not coming in. The fear this time is, you can say, enhanced than as compared to last year. So giving a percentage and effectivity of the percentage on retail
Hmm.
is changing every day.
Yeah.
It's very dynamic as of today. So,
Right.
but overall, you can say that around 70-75% are shut and around 20-25% are on.
Absolutely. So even the 20-25% which are operational, which have minimalistic footfall, so that needs to be taken into consideration as well. So this is one trouble that we are facing on the demand side. Now, Vinkesh, coming to the supply side as well, a couple of things. One, because dealerships are shut, even if people want to go in certain areas, you're unable to go. Number two, what is the kind of inventory constraints that we are facing? And thirdly, with regards to production as well, a lot of automobile companies have either reduced production or cut down production on a huge scale. So, how are we dealing with that situation as well?
See, we went into the lockdowns this time pre-Navratri. So
Hmm.
the stocks as of now at the dealerships are not for the passenger vehicle. I feel it's not much, because there were already demand supply gap there what we were seeing. So it's around 15 days as of today, which is reasonable enough. No doubt the two-wheeler is high at 30 to 35 days, but obviously everybody was expecting the Navratri April, and then April and May is marriage season also, and people do buy vehicles during that season. So we were expecting a good retail, and that was the built-up inventory for that. But now, as lockdowns has happened, that has again become a problem, a financial burden on the dealers.
Hmm.
On the supply side, obviously, I've heard a lot of manufacturers preponing the shutdowns, maintenance shutdowns, and even now increasing the days of shutdown. So I feel they are doing the right thing, because even if they manufacture a vehicle and keep it at their stockyards, they can't actually be dispatched to the dealers, and the dealers cannot unload them. And as of now, because the retails are not happening, what is the fun in producing a vehicle and overburdening the supply chain? So, but there are some others who are still continuing the production, which I don't know what thinking they have on it, but it's their management decision. But frankly, as of now, due to the dealerships closer and all, the dispatches are minimalistic,
Hmm.
and so and as of now, dealers are not concerned a lot on the supply chain issues, because practically, if those issues weren't there, also it wouldn't have helped us. We don't have a permission to retail, or even if there are the dealers which are open, the customer sentiments who want to buy it also is
Hmm.
not on a positive side. I feel every other person is affected, maybe a distant relative or a friend, due to something or the other. So, and you should consider that we dealers are actually uh, selling happiness or enhancing happiness.
Hmm.
So if a customer comes to buy a vehicle, his mindset has to be positive. He cannot come with some issues in the business or in family and then come out for buying a vehicle. Those are very limited numbers where they buy a vehicle for some emergency use or for commercial use. Generally, what we have seen, this the buying a vehicle, maybe a small 50,000 two-wheeler or a 50 lakh car, is an important milestone for a person,
Hmm.
and he wants to celebrate that. And I feel this is not the right time going ahead into all that. So practically, the gap of, if the even if the supply chain is not on or operational as of today, it's okay for us. So, but additionally, what we have to see whenever the lockdowns are over, the we should have vehicle for retail, which is already in system, and the supply chain should be able to cover up within 15 days of lockdown open, so that the cycle continues. But it's not a major concern as of today.
Right. Overall, with all of this, Vinkesh, another aspect is the finance bit for the dealers. Now, there is inventory cost which is involved with the quantum of inventory that is lying. Additionally, if you talk about the financing as well, are we seeking anything from the center or from the OEMs on this behalf? And have we heard anything positive?
We are doing it. We have represented already to the finance ministry and the RBI, seeking a moratorium or a restructure of our channel funding. So basically, we dealers normally work on working capital support from the finance, and it has a cycle of 30 days to 45 days to repay that cycle.
Mm.
And it's a process that we take the vehicle from the manufacturer. It takes them around 5 7 days to reach, and another 10 days to deliver, and then we have a cycle where we have to repay those financiers. So those are banks, those are NBFCs. So that's a cycle where we talk of trade finance or channel funding. But as of now, because of the lockdown, things are actually standstill. But the days are counting. So the date, nobody's controlled the calendar. So days are counting. So if like talk of Maharashtra, which is already now what 40 days, 40 45 days,
Mm.
40 plus days in lockdown. So if a dealer has a trench days for 30 days, is already in a process where he has defaulted. So we are in touch with bankers also to extend that and support, because this is not a fault of an individual dealer. This is
Correct.
an external factor. So we are yet to hear from the RBI or the government. But last year also there was support on this, because this is a genuine thing. It's nothing to do with a single dealer. So if
Mm.
they don't come up with a policy, in turn what will happen? They'll have a lot of NPAs across India, which are actually not NPAs. They just need time, where the lockdown is not there, to rotate that money, sell that vehicle, and give it back. So we are hopeful we'll get a positive answer. But what is deterring as of today is the process, where the last year was a central lockdown and a national lockdown. So the responsibility for reaction, everything was on the central ministries and the RBI. Now being a statewide lockdown, and that too very intermittent, we are not seeing a lockdown announced for 30 days or a 15 days. Is good for 7 days, then again 7 days.
Mm.
And because of all these uncertainty, nobody is able to decide what kind of support they have to offer and how long it has to be. So everybody is waiting for a guidelines and a confidence that when will this lockdown end, to actually come up for the support. But there is positivity. They have given us assurances that something will happen, but nothing has come as of now.
Right. And anything that you're expecting from the OEMs as well?
Practically a similar situation there. They are also confused. Not 100% dealerships are going through lockdown, and but we have written to them also to support the dealers, and I'm expecting something, but no assurance have come from them. So hopefully, because this finance issue in this rotation of the fund, even OEMs are involved. So they are also working with the financiers and the bankers how to extend that. Additional to that, the dealers as of now are burdened with the interest on inventory cost, where we have written to the manufacturers to support us. So last time, I feel most of the manufacturers have come up and voluntary and supported us a lot. So we were thankful to them. And this time also, we expect that in a week, 10 days time, we'll see some uh, uh, confirmed solutions from them to the dealers.
Right. And with this, do you think it's going to be easy, or will the dealers be able to maintain the employees, their salaries, etc.? How for how long will we be able to survive with the fixed cost till nothing is done?
So last year has taught us a lot. So we had done a lot of process realignment where we had made ourselves lean and mean. And obviously, we had learned that how to run a dealership with minimal resources also.
Mm,
Even agreeing to this, it's difficult to run a dealership without uh, without earning a single rupee for a long time. So as we went into lockdown, staggered lockdown in April, so still for a month or two, it won't be a problem for our dealers. And one thing is very clear: our frontline soldiers, or the manpower is the
mm,
most important ingredient for a good dealership. So they have a different skill which you cannot easily ask them to leave and then join new people. It's a very difficult situation because we put a lot of cost on training and hand holding to make them
mm,
reach a level where they become an asset to our dealership. So as of now, no dealership is thinking on furloughing or moving
mm,
away manpower. And on the salary front also, April hasn't been a burden on us. So we had gone for, and I am hoping May also will be managed by most of the dealers. But if this extends further, then it will become a financial uh, issue for all the dealerships for on the survivability also, because there are a lot of other costs also which cannot be avoided, like rent,
mm,
electricity bills, and all those overheads, which are constant, and they cannot be in a process of that because it's a lockdown, you're switched off, so there'll be no cost. So overall, we'll have to balance between the overheads, the important overheads, and the other expenses. So if it's only May, I feel most of the dealers will be able to go through. But if it extends, then it will become a bigger problem, and we'll have to see how to survive that position.
right. And how long do you think it will take for us to get back to pre-COVID levels?
A very difficult answer here. It's actually a prediction
Mm,
as of today, and an astrologer
correct.
can tell you, because I'm also hearing there is the third COVID wave,
Mm,
which we are all preparing for.
mm,
Coming from the hospitality industry, also we have already started working on the third COVID infrastructure developing. So it's a difficult thing, but I feel it will be similar reaction like what we have done last year. The
mm,
passenger vehicle comeback will be faster
mm,
because we have a good order book and we had a demand supply gap. So that is where we are not that much worried. But if I talk on the category of two wheeler, three
mm,
wheelers, and commercial vehicle, which also didn't give a good comeback in the last COVID situation, that is where our concerns a lot. And
mm.
two wheeler is a big auto industry in India. It's the world's number one, and our 70% of the retails and 75% of the dealers are dealing in two wheeler. So
Correct.
for them, this is a worrisome thing and a challenging thing. I don't feel for those category we'll be seeing the pre-COVID levels coming in this financial year. So it will take a longer time to come back to those
Mm.
figures.
Right. And very lastly, Vinkesh, especially with regards to the tractor sales, we've already seen a double-digit decline from March to April. Now, May, June, I think maximum sales is this is the period when we see. By how much can you expect a decline taking that COVID has spread into rural India?
So before answering this, we should also consider that we had seen a real good double-digit growth in tractor last year.
Correct.
So our base has increased. We were doing some 40, 50,000 number. It has gone down to 60, 70,000, depending
Mm,
on month to month. So our base has increased. So I'm doubtful that we'll be able to see the similar growth what we have seen last year because of a high base. But I feel due to the rural COVID spike, April we have seen it is down. May obviously will be down because most of the dealerships are closed, and this is it's not like last year that the rural was open, so rural dealerships were open, even tractor dealerships were open. But
Hmm.
at this time, everything is closed. So
Hmm.
I feel this quarter would not be good for tractor, but June end or July we'll again start seeing uh, the uh, the positivity in the tractor sale. I'm
Hmm.
not sure if it will be in the green side or in the positive side, but being a good base, even if we are able to achieve the similar numbers, it will be good for tractor industry, and we are hopeful on a faster revival in the tractor segment in the coming months.
Right. And very lastly, Vinkesh, with regards to electric vehicles, do you think the entire sales planning is something which has got pushed because of COVID? And by when do you see a good sales number coming in with regards to EV? And how do you view the segment?
See, I feel any new thing to establish itself, it needs some time, and EV is a different ball game from normal vehicle. And the way there are a lot of manufacturers who have already come in and a lot of even announced their launching in near future. So as of today, I feel electric vehicle needs more players and more serious players, which can give some reasonable priced vehicle. So and that is where the bigger problem is. There is a lot of interest on the customers and the customers to buy electric vehicle, but
Hmm.
when they come to the dealerships and see the price difference, uh, they are not able to justify that. So any customer who is driving maybe 2000, 3000, 4000 kilometers a month can have a benefit in buying an electric vehicle, which
Hmm.
is rare in India today. People buy a car and drive what 1000 kilometer max in a month. So 10,000 to 15,000 is what is an average people who drive in India. So there is still the gap which is there, and practically the COVID times have delayed the planning of pushing towards EV by a lot of manufacturers, and even the new players which were thinking of coming have I'll not say delayed it or postponed it, but they've started going slow.
Hmm.
So EV is a thing for future. I feel it's like a story that when the price will go down or when customer will come up. So like Hero is coming up with a concept of swapping of batteries. The day it comes, the cost will go down, and it will become like a similar thing like buying an ICE vehicle where you go
Hmm.
for purchasing a petrol whenever you need it. So
Hmm.
you go to a pump to replace your battery. So obviously, it's how much you drive, you pay for that same. So
Correct.
the cost goes down. So we need some these types of innovation to at least push the EV retails. So overall, we are confident that electric vehicle
Hmm.
is the future. But what we feel, the two wheeler and the commercial vehicle segment will be the first to enter this
Hmm.
bandwagon uh, as a voluminous thing. And lately, with players more coming in like Tesla, Ola, or whatever, there are a lot of Ether working a lot. We'll see the importance of EV coming more. And but talking on the percentage front or becoming in a prominent player or prominent fuel, I feel that's a long way to go in India.
Absolutely. I think there's a long time that we get converted into an EV market. Thank you, Vinkesh, so much for joining us on the show. Always a pleasure to have you. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as well. Thank you. Stay safe and hoping that things improve for all of us.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for all the viewers of Nirmal Bang, and hope everybody is safe, and please take care.
Thank
Thanks.
you so much.